Hi everybody, my name is Gene Koshinski, and I'm here to talk to you quickly about just some very basic essentials of how we set up the concert snare drum. I know this is something that might seem basic, and maybe we all have heard this before, but I've seen that it's often overlooked, especially in younger players, and it could really impact your sound and your facility. And just fixing a few simple things, or maybe it's just one little thing, could really have a huge impact on your performance. So the first thing I'd like to say is that the drum should be completely flat, no tilting at all. And that's the way that I prefer to play and how I teach. The other is that the snares are running this way so that you see that they're like this. And that's for me. So whenever I'm playing on the drum off center for a louder dynamic or moving toward the rim for a softer dynamic, I'm always playing on top of the snares that are running away from me. And then third, the strainer, the on and off, and the tension adjustment for the snares is right in front of me so that I have quick and easy access to adjusting that if I need to in the middle of a piece or pretty quickly. The other thing I'd like to talk about is the height of the drum, and this is something that I really see. This is probably the number one thing I see overlooked. The drum should be about where your sticks are parallel to the ground. So a good test I like to do on all the instruments, not just snare drum, is put your sticks or mallets to your side, close your eyes, and when you bring them up, when they feel parallel to the ground, you want to kind of mark where that's at, or take a measurement, and that's going to be pretty close to where you want the drum. Sometimes I'll put it a little bit lower than that, but not too low, because the important part is that you want the full bead in contact with the head. We don't want to have to be poking down at the drum so that we're only getting the corner, or obviously if it's too high, we're going to be hitting the rim. So that point is really important because you want barely any clearance here between the back end of the stick and the rim. You don't want to be like this. So that height of the drum really affects that. And the same around your keyboards, marimba or vibraphone, xylophone, Glock, anything that you can adjust, multi-setup. Even on timpani, if you're adjusting the throne, you want to be in that part where you're not reaching, and that you're transferring this knowledge of where the tip strikes the instrument. You're transferring that muscle memory to all the instruments, and they're all in the same place. That's a really ideal situation. The last thing I want to talk about is a drum mute. For concert snare drum, I always have a mute handy. I don't always necessarily need it, but I use it more often than not. I like to have a very, very thin cloth that's cut in a circle, and so that it's the whole size of the drum head if I really need to mute the whole drum for a really special reason, or I fold it in half a few times and I just put it as a general mute, put it on the very corner of the drum. That's really what I like to do. Sometimes I'll get a clip, a little paper clip, binder clip, and put it here on the rim. So I'm only using about this much in on the drum because you really don't want to mute too much of the head. You can also get this wonderful thing from Pearl. It's called a drum flip mute, and it has a drum key built in, which is really cool and really, really helpful. You just put it on one of the tension rods. I like to put it near me so that I can quickly adjust it, and then you just put it on the head, and this will mute exactly as much as you really should, and then you can quickly throw it off the drum if you want an open sound. So these are some really basic tips that I think if you're overlooking some of them would really improve your playing dramatically right away.